Before I begin, can I just say our prayers and our respects go to the families and the communities in San Bernardino, California, for everything that's going on there. I think it's important to recognize that what's taking place right now proves that terrorism knows no boundaries. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Abir and all my Emirati friends and diplomats, welcome to UAE Embassy's National Day celebration. I am honored to be joined here tonight by our colleagues from the UAE Space Agency, as well as our friends from NASA, to celebrate the UAE's 44th National Day. And I don't care what any of you say, 44 is still very young. For Emiratis, National Day is a time to honor our past traditions while recognizing the incredible accomplishments the UAE has made in 44 short years. Our progress is the direct result of what makes the UAE special: visionary leadership, commitment to openness, and collaboration with our friends. Many of you have already heard me talk about the UAE's bold and ambitious projects that involve innovative partnerships with the United States. And in many ways, these examples highlight our development as a nation and at the same time serve as a roadmap for future growth. There's the new Cleveland Clinic Abu Dhabi, which opened earlier this year and is the first branch of an American hospital abroad. New York University Abu Dhabi continues to grow as an academic center, bringing together the brightest students and thought leaders from around the world. And if I may just briefly boast, we've had only 3 graduating classes, totaling about 400 students. Out of those 400 students, we've had 6 Rhodes Scholars. US-UAE trade is booming and bilateral business partnerships are increasing. For example, UAE Airlines are the largest buyers of US-made passenger airplanes, and in 2015, 3 million people will fly between UAE and 10 gateway cities on more than 250 nonstop flights each week. And the reason we're in the Air and Space Museum tonight is because of our newest and most exciting area of cooperation, the UAE Space Agency's mission to Mars. I know what you're all thinking. Why does the UAE want to go to Mars? We have enough stuff to deal with here on Earth. And the answer is simple, and I think it's one that many of you can actually relate to. For us, this is the equivalent of President Kennedy's moonshot. It's a version of a future that can engage and excite a new generation of Emirati and Arab youth. We've been pushing boundaries here on Earth, and now it's time to move beyond to outer space. We're trying to create a new ideology of opportunity and optimism in a region that has seen too little of both for far too long. In the UAE, we're building an economic engine for the entire region, a place that encourages and celebrates innovation, creativity, and enterprise. A place where the free flow of goods, services, people, investment, and ideas lift the entire Middle East and links it to Africa, Asia, Europe, and of course, America. And this stems from our belief that it's possible to be Muslim, moderate, and modern all at the same time. We are committed to creating and sharing a new ideology of openness, opportunity, and optimism for the region and the world. And while the UAE of today is much different than the UAE Sheikh Zayed founded 44 years ago, that spirit is very much still the same. In this way, the UAE Mars mission serves as much more than a scientific and technological breakthrough. It's a signpost for future generations, both in the UAE and across the region, that says anything is possible. So tonight, we will honor the latest chapter in our development, and here to talk more about the UAE space program is Dr. Mohammed Al Ahbabi, the Director General of the UAE Space Agency. We are extremely grateful that Dr. Al Ahbabi and his inspirational team has been able to fly all the way from the UAE here to join us for tonight's celebration. Again, thank you everyone for joining us, and please help me welcome Dr. Mohammed Al-Ahbabi.
To me and to my staff, this is clear recognition and support to UAE Space Program. However, we just need to probably put my comments on why space, why UAE is going to space. Well, the UAE government and leadership and people understand and appreciate the importance of space. Space is important to national security, to our economy, transferring our economy from resources-based to knowledge-based economy, and also to our social development. It's also proven that space is a key for innovation and also a model for international relations and cooperations, and also inspiring people, especially young people. For these reasons, United Arab Emirates has identified space as part of its future. UAE Space Program today, or space capability, is ranked to be the biggest in the region, with direct investment of more than $5.5 billion. UAE today own and operate more than 6 satellites. That number will be double in the next few years. We have 3 leading space operators. But more than that, last year, United Arab Emirates government announced the establishment of the first space agency in the region, and also launching planetary mission to Mars, the so-called Al-Amal, the hope. Our space agency is a federal entity that regulates and supports and facilitates our growth and development of our space sector. It's mandated also to build capacity, build the next future space generation. It's also the arm and window for international cooperations. Also, our space agency is mandated by the government to fund and oversight national space program such as the Mars mission. As you know, the Mars mission is a scientific mission to Mars, will be launched in 2020, arriving Mars 2021. This is where UAE will celebrate its 50th anniversary. But back to His Excellency question, why is Mars? The government intended to achieve a number of objectives of that mission. First, to inspire our young people to STEM education and to pursue career in science and technology. It's also to provide hope, not only to UAE, but to the region. More than 150 million youth are confused, frustrated, hopeless. And that mission intended to bring bright light in their life towards better future. It's also a contribution to the international efforts to explore space. As always, United Arab Emirates is a global citizen, sharing the world, its challenges, from peace and security to poverty to climate, and now science and technology. United Arab Emirates value innovation, and I don't know if you know, but the year 2015 was the year of innovation in United Arab Emirates. Space is a part of that vision. Last week, the government committed around $80 billion that will be spent on the science and technology and innovation in UAE. Space is a key, and the government committed more than around $6 billion to be spent on space projects. We have ambition, and we are delighted to continue our developing our space sector, utilizing our local operators, but also strategic partners. I think it's opportunity to highlight the importance of bilateral relationship between UAE and US in the area of space. We have been engaging in the serious discussions with US government, NASA, US-based industry, and academia, and we are very interested to cooperate. Before I conclude, I would like to say that there are some challenges ahead of us. But with the support from our leadership, our government, our people, and from our friends and colleagues and partners, people like you, I am sure we will achieve our goals. Thank you. Now allow me now to invite NASA Chief Scientist, Dr. Ellen Stofan. She visited us a few weeks ago in Abu Dhabi, and I'm sure she's a good friend of UAE as well, and she gave us, encouragement. She will speak to you about the importance of continuing space exploration. Doctor?
As someone who grew up during the fabled space race during the US and the Soviet Union, and years later witnessed the landing of our Mars Science Curiosity rover on Mars, carrying instruments built by 5 other countries, I can assure you that we will explore faster and further as partners. We are closer than we have ever been before in history to sending humans to the red planet. Unlike the moon landing, this time one country will not go it alone. The US will lead a contingent of international partners to explore Mars. This will be a very different exploration than that of the moon. Space agencies from around the world are further advancing the exploration and utilization of space, using a systematic approach to expand our presence in the solar system, with human missions to the surface of Mars as the overarching long-term goal. As an international space community, we are assessing pathways to moving humans beyond low Earth orbit. We do this already on the International Space Station, where tens of thousands of people from 15 countries have been involved in the development and operation of the station. I had the opportunity to visit the UAE recently and was wholly impressed by the programs in place and the people I met. And yesterday, representatives from NASA met with Dr. Al Otaiba around a stronger collaboration on the journey to Mars. In just a short time, your country has advanced from its first satellite launch in 2009 to setting its sights on exploring Mars. Amal, the Hope probe, is aptly named. When it launches in 2020, it will not only help us learn more about our neighboring planet, but it will also carry with it the hopes and dreams of your citizens. I saw this clearly on my recent visit when I saw how university and high school students that I spoke with were engaged, energized, and ready to participate in your mission. Like the Curiosity rover, the Emirates Mars mission will inspire an entire generation of scientists, engineers, researchers, and dreamers to think, create, and innovate. Some might wonder about why sending humans beyond low Earth orbit to Mars is important and whether it's worth the cost. Scientifically, Mars is our destination because scientists have determined that Mars is the most likely place to find evidence of life beyond Earth. The recent evidence for liquid water on the surface of Mars also makes scientists wonder if life could have moved underground as conditions on the surface became incredibly inhospitable. But we explore for more reasons than just science. When nations do really hard things, they achieve much, innovating and developing new technologies and capabilities. A country that invests in space exploration invests in the future, and in doing so reaps economic benefits that spur the development of new companies and new capabilities. As President Kennedy said of the journey to the moon, we don't do this because it's easy. We do it because it is humanity's next big challenge, to move humans beyond this planet. We must do this in innovative new ways as an international community. Your leaders understand this and support this mission. So thank you for having me here tonight, and it's my great honor to reintroduce you to the ambassador. And he's a champion of that vision, that our countries can join together in the spirit of scientific discovery and a shared commitment to revealing the unknown.
2 days ago, the UAE celebrated its first Commemoration Day. I use that word very specifically. We celebrated Commemoration Day. Commemoration Day is a day the leadership in the UAE has created to honor and recognize those who have given their life serving their country. I was privileged to be in the audience on Monday, and as I watched the families of all those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, as I watched them receive their awards, something struck me. We always focus on the importance of our relationship with our friends and allies, our relationship with the United States and China, with India and Pakistan, with Egypt and with Saudi Arabia. And those relationships are very important. But there's a relationship that we rarely ever talk about, which in my opinion is even more important. And that's the relationship between the Emirati people and the Emirati leadership. And on Monday, that was on full display. The strength of that relationship has never been stronger. The strength of that relationship is why the country has been able to do everything that it's done in 44 years. And that relationship is why we are going to go to Mars in 6 years. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you for celebrating with us. And thank you for being part of our family.